"We needed the money more than you needed the dress," my sister said after secretly selling my wedding dress one day before my wedding and using the money on a luxury getaway with her boyfriend. But soon her life would change forever. I had never owned something so beautiful in my entire life. Every time I looked at it, I felt a rush of excitement, a kind of happiness I wasn't used to. The dress was perfect. It wasn't just fabric or lace, it was proof that I had finally done something for myself. I wasn't the type to splurge on things. I was practical, responsible. Every paycheck I earned had gone toward bills, my sister's tuition, rent, groceries, but for once, just this once, I had allowed myself something special, and tomorrow I would finally wear it. I still couldn't believe my wedding day was almost here. I was getting married. Me, the girl who had spent most of her 20s working 2 jobs, barely thinking about relationships because she was too busy making sure her sister had everything she needed. But somehow in the middle of all of that, I had found him. A man who didn't just love me, but respected me. Who never asked me to be less or to give up pieces of myself for his comfort. And tomorrow when I walked down the aisle, I wanted to feel like a bride, not just a provider, not just a big sister, not just someone who was always making sacrifices for everyone else. I wanted one perfect moment. And when I stepped into that dress, I knew I would have it. I glanced toward my closet, smiling to myself, already picturing it. The delicate embroidery, the way the fabric shimmered under the light. I had checked on it 100 times this week, just to be sure. I walked over now, humming to myself, my heart so light it almost felt silly. Tomorrow was going to be the best day of my life. I pulled open the closet door and my smile froze. The dress was gone. For a second, I just stood there staring at the empty space. My brain refused to process what I was seeing. I blinked, shook my head slightly, and pushed aside the other hangers. Maybe I had moved it. Maybe I was just remembering wrong. I dropped to my knees, running my hands over the floor of the closet. Maybe it had fallen, but no, there was nothing. The panic hit me all at once, hot and overwhelming. My breath came fast and sharp. No, no, no. I turned the entire bedroom inside out. I checked the hallway closet, the laundry basket, even the kitchen because maybe I did something stupid. Maybe I was sleep-deprived and left it somewhere ridiculous. But deep down, I already knew this wasn't a mistake. I grabbed my phone, my hands shaking so badly I almost dropped it. I scrolled down to Lisa's name and called. What came next would change our lives forever. Lisa was always the favorite. It wasn't obvious at first. It wasn't like my parents ever said it out loud, but you don't have to say something for it to be true. It was in the little things, like the way I had to share my toys with her, even when they were my birthday presents. "You're the big sister, Joanna. Be nice." Or the way she could throw a tantrum in a store and get exactly what she wanted. But if I even hinted that I wanted something, my parents would say, "We can't afford that, Joanna. Don't be selfish." I learned early. Lisa wanted and Lisa got. It wasn't just about things, though. It was about attention. Lisa was the kind of child people gravitated toward. She had big emotions, loud reactions, bright smiles, and big tears. When she was happy, she made sure everyone knew it. When she was upset, she made sure everyone knew it. I wasn't like that. I was quiet. I kept things to myself. I didn't cry over small things, didn't throw fits. Something upset me. I dealt with it. And my parents rewarded Lisa for needing them while pushing me to be independent. "Joanna, you're so mature for your age." "Joanna, you don't need help with that, do you? Lisa just needs a little extra attention right now. Right now, there's always right now." I used to wonder when would my right now come. It never did. When Lisa started school, everything became about her struggles. She wasn't a great student. She got easily distracted, forgot assignments, needed extra help. Our parents poured time into tutoring, parent-teacher meetings, helping her with homework. I, on the other hand, got straight A's. I did my work without being asked. I never needed them like Lisa did. So, they stopped paying attention. I brought home tests with perfect scores, and my parents barely glanced at them. Lisa got a B on a math quiz, and they cheered like she had won a gold medal. I didn't say anything. What was there to say? I learned to accept less. Then came college. I had always known I wasn't going. We didn't have the money, and no one had ever mentioned saving up for me. I didn't complain. I didn't ask. I finished high school and got a job instead. That was my path. It was expected until 2 years later, I overheard my parents talking about Lisa's college fund. I remember the moment perfectly. I had just walked into the kitchen. My mom was at the table flipping through brochures for universities. We need to start looking for apartments near campus. She was saying to my dad, Lisa's going to need a nice place to live. I just stood there. They hadn't saved for me. They hadn't even considered it. But Lisa had a whole plan. Tuition, rent, a fresh start in another state. They saw me in the doorway. My mom smiled. Joanna, can you help Lisa pick out furniture for her dorm? You're so practical. You'll know what's worth buying. Like I was just an employee. Like my only role was to support Lisa. I didn't argue, didn't say a word because what was the point? Lisa deserved a future. I was just the one who made sure she had it. The next few years were a blur of working and pain. Lisa got to be a carefree college student. I worked 2 jobs, sometimes 3. I paid her rent, sent her grocery money, covered emergencies. My parents helped when they could, but they mostly told me, "You're doing so well for yourself, Joanna." You don't need our help. Because needing help was Lisa's role. And taking care of things, that was mine. I never questioned it. Not even when Lisa started expecting more. She didn't just need tuition money. She needed money for concerts, spring break trips, weekend getaways, and I gave it to her because I loved her, because she was my baby sister, because who else would take care of her? And then the moment that changed everything. Lisa called me one night frantic. "Joe, I need to borrow some money. Please, it's really important." I was exhausted from working a double shift, but I asked, "What for a trip?" She was whispering like she didn't want someone to hear her. "With my boyfriend. We need this trip. Things have been really rocky, and I think if we don't do this, he might leave me." Something about the way she said it made my stomach twist. I knew Lisa. She didn't beg, and I knew enough about her boyfriend to not trust him, but still, he was my sister. So I asked how much. She told me, and for the first time in my life, I said no. She didn't take it well. She cried but told me that this was her last chance to fix her relationship. "Please, Joe, you always help me. Why is this different?" And I wanted to. God, I wanted to, but I couldn't. Not this time. So I apologized, told her I couldn't do it. Lisa went silent. Then she said something that made my chest tighten. Oh, just that, like she was realizing for the first time that she couldn't just take from me forever. The call ended. I sat there staring at my phone, wondering if I had just ruined everything. But I had no idea because the real betrayal was coming. And this time, I was the one who never saw it coming. The night before my wedding, I still believed Lisa was my maid of honor. She was staying at my apartment, helping me with last-minute details, arranging my shoes, steaming the veil, checking the list of things to bring to the venue. She even braided my hair while we sat on my bed, laughing about childhood memories. "You're getting married," she whispered at one point like she still couldn't believe it. I smiled, feeling warm, hopeful, excited. Despite everything, despite all the times Lisa had been selfish, despite her moodiness about money lately, I still wanted her beside me on my big day because I loved her, because she was my sister. The next morning, Lisa got up early. I was still groggy when she announced she was heading out. "Errands," she said vaguely. Just a few things I need to do before the wedding. I nodded, too tired to ask questions. She kissed my cheek. I'll be back soon. Okay. I mumbled, rolling over. I should have known. By the time I got up, I was buzzing with nerves. I had barely slept. This was it. My wedding day. I made coffee, showered, and took a deep breath before walking to my closet. I wanted to see the dress one last time before I got ready. I pulled open the closet door and my heart stopped. The dress was gone. At first I stood there frozen, my brain refusing to catch up. Had to be here. It had to be. I yanked the closet open wider, pushed aside hangers, looked on the floor. Nothing. My breath hitched. My hands shook. I tore apart my bedroom, checked the hallway closet, the laundry basket, the suitcase I packed for the honeymoon. Even though I knew it wouldn't be there, it was gone. Panic crawled up my throat. I grabbed my phone and dialed Lisa. She answered on the first ring. Hey, Joe, I'm almost back. Lisa, I cut her off. My voice was dangerously calm. Where is my dress? A beat of silence. Then she laughed. Oh my God, you scared me. I thought something was actually wrong. I squeezed my eyes shut. Lisa, the dress is missing. Where is it? I don't know. Did you check the laundry room? I checked everywhere. Maybe someone took it, she offered, voice light, casual. Your friend Emily was here yesterday. Maybe she moved it. I felt it then, that shift in my stomach, that quiet, awful knowing. She was lying. Lisa came back an hour later. She walked in like nothing was wrong, but when she saw my face, saw the way I was staring at her, her smile dropped. Lisa, I said, tell me the truth. She hesitated, then sighed dramatically, rolling her eyes. Okay, fine. And then she said the words that would burn in my memory forever. We needed the money more than you needed the dress. I didn't speak. I couldn't. She crossed her arms like I was the one being unreasonable. Look, she continued, you are marrying the love of your life. He's not going to leave you over a dress. My hands curled into fists. You sold it. She nodded like it was the most logical thing in the world. I actually found a buyer weeks ago. Remember when you posted that picture? Someone messaged me asking if you'd sell it. I told them yes, and they sent the deposit right away. My breath left my body. Weeks. She had planned this for weeks, and you didn't think to tell me. She scoffed. Joanna, I told you I needed to go on that trip. My relationship is on the line. You're already happy. You already have everything. I needed this more than you did. I felt something inside me snap. I had given Lisa everything. My time, my energy, my money, my future, and she had stolen the one thing that was just for me. I took a slow breath. Then I looked her in the eye. You are no longer my maid of honor. Lisa's face twisted. What? Get out, I said, my voice shaking. You are banned from my wedding. Her mouth fell open. Joanna, get out. I didn't yell, didn't scream, but she saw something in my face that made her step back. For the first time, Lisa realized she had gone too far and she panicked. Come on, don't be like this, she begged. It's just a dress. But I wasn't listening. I was done. She left and I fell apart. I got a new maid of honor. My best friend Emily stepped in at the last minute. I found a replacement dress. It didn't fit right. It didn't feel like mine. There was no time to tailor it. I looked in the mirror and saw a stranger in a white dress. The wedding went on, but the moment I stepped down the aisle, Lisa tried to force her way in. I had told security to not let her in, but she made a scene. People turned, guests started whispering, and I knew if I kept fighting her now, she would ruin everything. So I let her in as a guest, Not as my maid of honor, not as my sister, not as the person I had spent years sacrificing for. And as I stood at the altar smiling for the cameras, I thought, she thinks she got away with this. She has no idea how much she's going to regret it. I didn't yell at her. I didn't scream or threaten or tell her exactly how much I hated her in that moment. I smiled. I let her walk into my wedding like she hadn't ruined it the day before. I let her sip champagne, laugh with guests, take pictures as if she was still my sister. She thought she had gotten away with it, but Lisa had no idea because I wasn't going to fight her. I was going to let her destroy herself. 1 week later, Lisa went on her trip like nothing had happened. She posted pictures laughing on a boat, drinking fancy cocktails, posing in a swimsuit next to her boyfriend. There was no guilt, no shame, just Lisa enjoying the trip she had stolen from me. I saved every single picture, not because I cared what she was doing, but because one day I wanted her to look back at them and remember how blissfully unaware she was. How she had no idea that by the time she came home, her entire life would be falling apart. The first thing to go was her phone bill. It was a small thing, something she never thought about because I had always handled it. She texted me casually like everything was normal. "Lisa, hey, my phone bill is due. Can you send the payment?" I stared at the message for a long time. Then I put my phone down. I didn't reply. I didn't pay. I let her figure it out. A few days later, she texted again. "Joe, I think my service got cut off. Did you forget to pay?" This time, I smiled. "Lisa, you have no idea." Next, it was rent. She had 1 more week before it was due, but I wasn't saying a word. I wondered how long it would take her to realize no one was covering it. I didn't have to wait long. She called me late at night, her voice high-pitched and nervous. "Joanna, my landlord, just messaged me about rent. I think the autopay didn't go through." I didn't answer right away. I let the silence stretch. Then I said calmly, "I'm not paying for it." There was a beat of confusion, like she hadn't processed the words. "What?" "I'm not paying," I repeated. "Not anymore." Lisa actually laughed. A little breathy, disbelieving sound. "Okay, very funny, but seriously, can you fix it?" "I don't have enough in my account right now." I didn't say anything. She was still waiting for the punchline. Then something in my silence must have clicked. Her tone shifted. "Wait, Joe. What do you mean not anymore?" I leaned back in my chair, feeling lighter than I had in years. "I mean, I'm done, Lisa. I'm done paying for your rent, your bills, your vacations, your tuition." Silence. A different kind of silence this time. Not confusion. Panic. Wait, Joe. You're mad." "I get it, but you can't just—" "Yes," I said. "I can." Her breath hitched. But I have 1 more year of college. You said you'd cover it." "I was going to," I said, "before you sold my wedding dress." I could practically hear her mind racing. I had never done this before, never denied her, never let her fall. "Joe," she said, her voice breaking slightly. "Please." I hung up. The real desperation didn't kick in until 2 weeks later when she came home from her trip and started seeing the full damage. The phone still unpaid, her landlord threatening eviction, her college tuition unpaid. She had 1 semester left. The tuition deadline was looming, and for the first time in her life, there was no one coming to save her. That's when the real calls started. Not the casual reminders, the pleading, the crying. "Lisa." "Joe, please call me back." Lisa. "I'm serious. I don't know what to do." Lisa. "I will pay you back. I swear. I just need help right now." Lisa. "Joanna, please. I'm your sister." She wasn't my sister. She was just a girl who had spent her life using me. Number. Now she was paying the price. The final call came at 2 a.m. I woke up groggy, fumbling for my phone about to decline the call, but something made me pick up. Lisa was sobbing. "Joe, they're kicking me out." She gasped. I don't have anywhere to go." I sat up. "Not my problem." Her breath hitched. "Joe, please. I will pay you back. I swear I'll do anything. You mean like how you paid me back for my wedding dress?" Silence. Then a broken whisper. "I didn't think you'd actually do this to me." I closed my eyes. "I didn't think you'd sell my dress," I said. "And yet, here we are." More sobs, more begging. I had never heard her this desperate before. Almost felt bad. Almost. But then I thought about everything. The money I worked for, the years I sacrificed, the way she had smiled in my face, acting like what she did didn't matter. She didn't care about me. She cared about what I could give her. And now she had nothing. I took a slow breath. And then for the first time in my life, I told her no. Find your own way, Lisa. And then I hung up. I didn't check my phone the next day. I didn't look at her messages. I lived my life. For the first time, my money was my own. My time was my own. And as for Lisa, I don't know what happened to her. I don't know where she went or how she got out of the mess she made. But I do know one thing. She will never take from me again. Update. It didn't take long for Lisa to run to our parents. She called them crying, telling them I had cut her off, abandoned her, left her to suffer when she had no way to support herself, and of course they took her side. I don't know what they believed, that I had suddenly become cruel overnight, that I just woke up one morning and decided to ruin my sister's life for fun. It didn't matter because the next thing I knew, they were calling me. First, it was my mom. "Joanna, I don't know what's gotten into you, but this is not how we raised you." Then my dad, "She's your sister. Family helps each other. She was counting on you." Then the guilt trips. "She's going to be homeless." "You're really okay with that? She's going to have to drop out of school. Do you want to be responsible for ruining her future?" I let them talk. Let them lecture me, shame me, try to push me back into my old role. Then when they finally stopped, I said calmly, "Did she tell you why I stopped paying for her?" Silence. Then my mom sighed like I was the unreasonable one. "Joanna, it was just a dress. Just a dress. My wedding dress. The only thing I ever wanted for myself. And to them, it was nothing." I exhaled. Then I told them everything. Every sacrifice. Every time I put Lisa first. Every bill I covered. Every meal I paid for. Every dream I let go of so she could have hers. I laid it all out. And then I ended with, I wasn't her sister. I was her bank account. And now, I'm done. They didn't like that. They tried to argue, tried to say I was being selfish, cruel, unforgiving. But I had already made up my mind. I hung up. And for the next few months, I ignored every single call. Lisa thought she could survive without me. For a while, she kept pretending everything was fine. She had some savings left from the dress. She thought she would be able to figure it out. But then reality hit. The tuition for her final year wasn't paid. Her phone was still cut off. Her rent was still unpaid. She was slowly drowning. And to make things worse, her boyfriend left her. As of course he did. He had never loved her. He loved what she could give him. And now she had nothing left to give. So he walked away. And Lisa had never had to work before. She had no experience, no work history, no idea how hard it was to make money. But she had no choice. So she got a part-time job at a coffee shop. It barely covered her rent. She was exhausted all the time. She had never juggled work and school before, and in the end, she couldn't keep up. She failed all her exams, lost her job, got evicted, and moved back in with our parents. And when that happened, they blamed me. "You ruined your sister's life, Joanna." If you had just helped her like before, none of this would have happened. Do you even care about family anymore?" I didn't respond because there was nothing left to say. Update. 1 year later. I hadn't spoken to Lisa in over a year. My parents either in my life. It was better than ever. For the first time, I had my own money. I had quit my second job. I went on vacations, bought things for myself. I was happily married, expecting a baby. Everything I had been working for all those years, I was finally getting to enjoy it. And then one day, out of nowhere, Lisa reached out. She sent me a text. "Lisa, hey, I know we haven't talked in a long time, but can we get coffee?" I stared at the screen for a long time. I had no idea what she wanted, but after a few minutes, I replied, "Me." "Okay." I met her at a small cafe near my house. She looked different, tired, older somehow. We sat down, ordered drinks, and then she said something I never expected. "I get it now." I blinked. "What?" She swallowed, looked uncomfortable. I didn't understand back then how hard it is, how exhausting it is to work, to pay for everything, to feel like you never have enough. "I thought you just did it because you wanted to. I didn't realize how much you were giving up." She looked down at her hands. "I was awful to you. I said nothing because what was there to say?" She sighed. "I'm not asking for anything. I miss you. And I know I don't deserve another chance, but I want to try. I don't need your money. I don't expect anything from you. I just want my sister back." I exhaled. A year ago, I had dreamed of hearing those words. No, I wasn't sure if I could believe them. I looked at her, really looked at her. She had been through hell, a hell that she had created for herself. And maybe she had changed, but I would never let myself be used again. I finally spoke. "I don't know if I can forgive you, but I'm willing to try." Her eyes filled with tears. "That's all I'm asking. We talked for an hour about nothing important." For the first time, she didn't ask for anything. And when we left, I gave her a small smile. Not because everything was okay, but because maybe